Pete, how you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me over.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming over.
So I'm just going to set my things down here on the kitchen table. Do you mind showing me around? Show me about your house.
Sure, no problem. Over here is the living room.
Oh, wow, excellent. What a nice living room.
Well, thank you. You know, the wife and I try to keep up the upkeep on the
Yeah,
house.
it's definitely clean, neat. Shows well.
Oh, thanks. Over here is the kitchen. Fairly updated, as you can see.
Yep.
Got big closet space over here.
Yeah, it's definitely roomy.
You know, and down here is the half bath.
Wow.
And the full bath is upstairs, which I'll show you.
Very nice.
Bedrooms are right here. Here's the master bedroom.
Yep.
Here's the kids' bedroom.
And bedroom.
Over here is the master bath, as I showed you.
Wow, very big.
Yeah, separate laundry room over here. And again, another big closet. And down in the cellar, it's half finished, as you can see.
Yep.
Gas heat.
Wow.
Boiler's in another room. And that's about it.
All right, excellent, Pete.
Yep.
Well, the only thing I would say your property shows beautifully, just I would say declutter, depersonalize. Every time we have a showing, you just make it nice and neat. I use a secretary service called MA Pass. So what they're going to do is they actually could show the property and give you the 24-hour notice or whatever notice that you need to show the property. So let's just have a sit right here at the kitchen table, okay?
Sure.
And we're just going to talk about some things that what me and my team do completely differently from everybody else. Is that fair?
That is fair, because I did. You know, this house was on the market for like 6 months, and I don't know why it didn't go, but it didn't go. So I'd like to see something new.
Yeah, no, certainly, and that's what we're going to offer you, Pete. Something completely new and completely different. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me and my team, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
All right, excellent. So just a little bit about what we do. Here's kind of the map of the territory we cover, and the reason I show you this is because we sell homes all over the area. So the benefit of that for you is, Pete, we actually do marketing all over the area, and chances are that a person's coming to buy your home is going to come from outside this area. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, perfect. So we spend a huge, like a very good budget on marketing and advertising, and the way we do that is by studying statistics, Pete. We actually study where consumers come from, and that's how we advertise. So here you see from the National Association of Realtors. This slide shows that 39% of all buyers in 2012 were first-time home buyers. This home is actually going to be perfect for a first-time home buyer, and that's when we get to marketing, you'll understand where we spend our money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, excellent. Now this is a huge slide. I want you to really pay attention to this graph. You see in 2012, this is by National Association of Realtors, 90% of all consumers started their home search on the internet. So you see the power of the internet, don't you?
Come a long way over the years, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I remember, 25 years ago, it wasn't that easy.
No, definitely wasn't that easy. So, Pete, the other important slide here is another slide directly from the National Association of Realtors. And this slide actually shows, like, agent-assisted sales. 90% of all transactions in 2012 were involved with an agent. So that's another reason why we advertise to other agents as well as buyers on the internet. And it's going to make sense once we show you exactly what we do to advertise.
Okay.
So you can see this reiterates the same thing. 85% or more are actually agent assistant sales. Does that make sense?
It's getting there, yeah. I understand what you're saying.
So what we do differently from everybody else is our 87-point marketing plan. Yeah, I left it for your review, so you can review that when we get out of here. And it shows you exactly every single step of the process of what we do to make sure that you net the most money possible, okay? This is one of the big differences between DNA Realty Group and everybody else. We advertise your property in all these websites. You've probably heard of these, right? Google,
yeah, I've heard of a lot.
Trulia.com,
sure.
Yahoo.com. So your property will actually be syndicated in over 500 websites.
Really?
Yes.
That's big.
Yeah, it's huge, and the benefit to you too, we're also very live on social media, which a lot of companies might not be. So we do a YouTube video, we'll do a walkthrough to your house and kind of capture the buyers online. It's actually going to help you and your property rank higher, so when people Google search properties in your area, videos go to the top of the list. So we do Facebook, Yelp, we have reviews. If you want to check us out on Zillow, we have a ton of reviews, so you can kind of see what past clients have said about us. So you'll definitely get the exposure of blogging, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, the whole nine. And that's a huge benefit in today's market, and I'm not aware of how many other agents are doing this.
Well, you know, I don't like to badmouth people or send negativity, but I believe that my house was basically only listed on the MLS with my old agent.
Right, Pete, and that's the problem. I focus a lot on expired listings and for sale by owners. That's how we built that business. And what we hear a lot of people saying is just that. The agent put the sign in the yard, put it in the MLS, cross their fingers in hopes to sell. Our approach is different. We actually have a huge marketing budget every single month to make sure that we can market your property and expose it to as many people as possible.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So now we're going to get to a little bit about pricing. And this is very important, Pete, because it doesn't matter what I do to market your property. If it's overpriced or it's outside the range, if we don't position your property properly, then, you know, we get marketed to everybody. Everybody could know about it, but nobody's going to buy it. Because the way consumers search today, like we talked about the internet earlier, so they'll log on, they'll pull up your property right on the computer, and they'll see your property and another one. And if this one is the same, it looks the same pictures, they're going to go to the one that's 20 grand cheaper, right? Why would you go out and physically look at properties that are overpriced?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And this is a huge slide. I actually love this one because it shows you the point. If you're asking fair market value, which is right here, you see the slide? Yep. You're going to capture 95% of the consumers, right? If you overprice the property by as little as 5%, you literally only get 50%. So you're outpricing 45% of the buyer public. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Right, so that's why pricing is going to be so critical, Pete. And here's another slide which is very, very important. You see that this actually shows you how fast a property sells and how many showings they're actually getting. So you can notice that the best time to get the best price for your property is when it's first listed. This is a very similar slide, and it shows you the number of showings in the first week. So you can see after 30 days how rapidly that declines.
Right.
The last thing we want to do is have your property become a stale listing.
I've seen that before.
Right. It's probably what happened to you the first time when you were on the market at 6 months. At the end of that 6 months, did you get nearly as many showings as you did in the first 2 weeks?
No, more in the first 2 weeks.
Right.
They had one open house also.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the beginning, and then that was the end of that.
And there's a reason for that. Because the first 2 weeks, to be honest with you, is the best time to sell a property. It's new to the market. So what we're going to do when we relist it is we're going to reposition it.
And getting back to the price, they did a CMA, comparative market analysis, is that what they call it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the prices came in pretty good, pretty close, so I don't believe that property was overpriced. But
yeah.
I'm sure you'll
get to that. That's a great thing that you asked for that. We'll actually cover all of that today.
Good.
So this is just a little slide when we were featured in a newspaper for being one of the top agents in the marketplace. Wow. Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So it talks about our mission statement. This is me and my company. And our goal, Pete, honestly, is to build a client relationship for life. You can look on Zillow and see some of the testimonials. What I'm going to make out of this transaction is going to cover my expenses. I'll get a little check after Uncle Sam. But what I really love to do is create a win-win relationship for life. So whenever you or anyone you know needs real estate help, you think of me first. Now, it's also a benefit to you, Pete, because you have a go-to real estate consultant who you know can get the job done. Now, on top of that, if you ever need a plumber, heating, CPA, or any additional service, I have the best people in the field that I could refer to you. How does that sound?
That could come in handy.
Absolutely, and that's why we want this to be your one-stop shop for everything you need. So now we're going to go and we're going to talk a little bit about the power of team. We're going to switch gears a little bit. So this is my team. You know, me and my brother, we started the company. We have a big team now. We have a full-time admin. We have somebody to do the marketing. We have other agents as well. So instead of getting one agent like me doing everything, you're going to actually have a team working to get your home sold. Included in that team, we'll also be able to refer you a lender, attorney. And on top of that, I have over 100 agents in my office who are going to know about your property before it ever hits the market. What do you think about that?
Sounds like that could work.
Yeah, absolutely it could work. And it's going to work, and it's going to actually get you the most money for your property. So we talked a little bit about our 87-point marketing plan, right? And that actually helps you in marketing the home, so I definitely want you to review that. But what I also wanted to show you right here, you see our past happy clients? These are all photos I've taken at closings with some of our clients.
Wow.
Yeah, you see? And we talk to every single one of them and still have a relationship till this day.
Right.
And that's what our goal is for you, Pete. Here you can see our client testimonials, what some people said about us. You could also log in online and check out our reviews from people that we can't control, like on Zillow. And then you can see what some of our past clients have said about us, and I think you're going to be thrilled. So based on that, Pete, we're going to actually shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about the property value of your home. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Pete. So I printed out the public record here. I just want you to confirm it to make sure that it's accurate. So this is your property. It's 3 beds, 2 baths, and all the information here is correct. Is that right?
Everything looks correct.
All right, excellent. So Pete, now I want to talk a little bit about how we come up with the number. So what my job is to really position your home in the market at a fair price. And what is fair market value? It's not what we want for the house, but it's what a willing and able buyer is willing to offer you and what you're willing to accept. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So based on that, the way I do my research is I'll start with 6 months of sales, similar homes to yours within a 1 mile radius. Obviously, if I have to expand, if you have a unique home, then we'll do that. Okay?
Okay.
So what I printed out here is I have 3 homes that are just like yours. 3 beds, 1 bath, capes, similar square footage. And here you could see all the details about days on the market, list price, and sales price. The good news for you is in your area, most properties are selling 100% of asking price. So you can see that here.
Wow.
Now, I know you're thinking some of these properties have 1 bath and mine has 2. So that's why we're going to also make adjustments, which I'll show you in the later slide about, if you have 2 baths, they have 1, we'll add $10,000 or whatever is appropriate to do so.
So I take it you have a formula that if you have to add or subtract, you got a standard number for each,
Right.
whether it's a garage or a bathroom or something.
Yeah, so
Okay.
what we take is basically the 3 most, no house is identical, so we take the 3 most similar sales in the last 6 months. And if we have to make adjustments, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yep. So this is one house, you probably know this house, right across it's probably right around the way, it's within a mile on Beaconfield Street. Do you know that property?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I know the guy that used to live there.
Oh, okay, excellent.
We used to work together.
Oh,
actually.
perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
played a little golf.
Excellent. Yeah, so this seller...
He's in Florida now.
Yep, so he
Yeah.
successfully sold his home and moved to Florida. Here's another property on Bowden Street. It's right around the corner from
I'm
here.
familiar with that.
Yeah, I actually drove by it. It's very similar to yours. And here's the 3rd property we have. Okay? So they're all very similar homes. Now, Pete, we're going to go over there. We're going to just look at... Here's some of the adjustments I made so you can see, subtractions, additions. And what I do is I'm basically able to compute a price range of where realistically your house will sell. Okay? So we always get pretty close to the number, but I mean, what you have to be aware of is the market shifts back and forth sometimes.
Right.
So we're going to reevaluate the market every 2 weeks or so, and make sure that you're actually positioned right in the market, because the market can shift one way or the other. So we could always reposition your home. So based on the numbers that we discussed, we got a range of where your property is going to sell. So
Okay.
here's the range. It's about 229 to 241, okay? So based on that, where do you think you want to position your home in the market so that we're able to net you the most money possible?
I would go with the 241.
Right, and most sellers do, but based on your needs, Pete, and you said you had the job in Boston, which you had to be down to, so we still have to position and sell your property. Like we talked about fair market value at the end.
Yeah.
So this is fair market value, and you really can never fool it. A lot of people think you can, but you can't. So what we could do is we have 2 options. Your property's going to sell in this range, and I'm pretty accurate with my numbers, but what happens is if you overprice it outside this range, it's going to sit a little longer and potentially sell for a little less. Or you could underprice it, and it's going to sell a little faster and potentially for a little bit more. So what I think, Pete, if we go close to the 235 number, you're actually going to generate more showings, which lead to more offers, which will allow us to negotiate and get you the most money possible in the shortest possible time. Because isn't that what you essentially want?
That is what I want, but if we go with the 2, I mean, I have a lot of history in that house.
Okay.
My kids grew up there.
Yeah.
I see, people selling their houses and making a lot of money.
Mm.
So if I agree to go to the $235,000,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to stand firm. There won't be any much room for negotiation after that.
Absolutely, Pete. And what our goal is to actually get you an offer in the first 2 weeks, because that's the best time to sell a house. But I also promise to always be honest with you and revalue the market. I'm never going to lie to you, Pete. Is that okay?
That's fair.
Okay, so if we're not getting any showings and we position your property improperly, or we have showings for 2 weeks, no offers, and it still didn't sell, I'm going to have a conversation with you again to show you where you should be priced in the market. Is that fair?
I guess we could reevaluate.
But let's not even worry about that, because right now I think as we position your home properly, do all the marketing, I expect to have an offer for you in the first 2 weeks.
Now let me ask you something. Okay, I stand firm at the 235, and I understand that it can be renegotiated.
Yes.
I've sat in this house for 6 months. I saw another agent try to sell it. But now I have to consider, what do you get for a commission?
Yeah, absolutely. And our commission, for everything that we do, all our expenses is actually, we're going to take this listing at 6%. And what you get for that is everything I showed you. We're not going to cut any corners. We're actually going to cooperate with the buyer agent so they get paid. So you just pay one fee and we take care of the buyer's agent. To entice them to bring us people, to bring us clients. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. The other agent that I had the house listed with charged me 5%.
Yeah, certainly. And I heard
he didn't really do much.
Yeah, and I hear that all the time.
I'm gonna have to talk to my wife about that.
Yeah, certainly. And I hear that all the time, Pete. Right? But here's the truth of the matter, right? The beauty in my business is you don't pay me anything until I produce a result, right?
That's true.
So I mean, he charged you 5%, but what did you end up paying him?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I still have my house.
And you still have your house.
And I'm still far away from work. And I still can't relocate. I understand that.
Exactly. So if I can't produce a result and get you the number that we're talking about here, or get you an offer that's acceptable to you, you're not going to pay me anything anyways.
At 6%, you better get me an offer.
And at 6%, we're going to do all the marketing we promised you. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. So now I just want to show you another couple of bonuses that we have. How about that?
Sounds good.
Pete, the beauty of this is what I created here. Based on working with so many for sale by owners and expired listings, we created an easy exit listing agreement. So here's what it is, Pete. If you want to fire us at any time and you don't feel like we're doing our job, you pick up the phone, you call me, we come get the sign, and we go our separate ways. Because if we can't make it a win-win and create a client for life, we don't want to waste your time or my time. So I know a lot of people say we take 6-month listings, but we give you the option to fire us at any time.
Now that I wish I could have done 3 months ago. To be honest.
And that's exactly why we do it. So why don't you just sign right here, Pete? And we could guarantee to give you the easy exit listing agreement, which just says you could fire us at any time.
And this is just the easy exit agreement.
Yep.
This is not locked in.
No, this basically says that if we're not performing and doing our job, you could basically get rid of us.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
I think I can make that decision on my own.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you. Now, here's another bonus we offer you. So, everything that we said we're going to do, we're also going to communicate with you. Because I remember you told me when I first called you that your last agent, you didn't hear from him for the last 3 months?
One open house. I think he went to Tahiti after that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
And he kept calling them. So we actually guarantee that somebody from our company, our team, is going to call you every 2 weeks to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let you know how many showings you have, if we have any offers, or if there's something we need to look out for.
Is that part of that agreement? Or
No, this is a separate communication guarantee. And what this actually says, Pete, if we don't call you when we're supposed to, every other Tuesday, you could just call us and say you're fired. How's that sound?
That's fair.
All right, excellent. So please sign right there, Pete. Pete, now, here's another sheet. This is called the agency disclosure, which I'm required to give you by law. And this basically says that I represent you as the seller. And here's the sheet that shows you. I'm going to leave this with you, actually. And this packet is everything you need. You can review after we leave. So that just says that I represent you as the seller. Whatever you tell me here is in confidentiality. And I'm looking out for your best interest and to get you the most money possible.
I am familiar with that. I had to sign that with the other guys.
Absolutely. So here's to make sure that we do the best job for you. That's excellent. Thank you, Pete. Now here's the actual agreement, and this talks about the price which we discussed, right? So
the 6%?
No, the price that you said you wanted to position your property at
$235. Like the $235, yes.
Right. So that's the blank right here. We're going to fill that right in. So it says that you're going to pay us this, and this is what we're going to pay out to the buyer's agent. And these are the terms of the contract. And I just need your signature right here.
You know, I feel very comfortable with you. I was going to ask my wife. My wife trusts my decisions. But now, you know, talking further with you, I'm comfortable with this decision. I know my wife will support me, so I'll sign.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Pete. So here's the lead law. It's actually in this packet that explains the whole lead law. So if you don't mind just signing here, basically you said you weren't aware if there's any lead in this property. So just check here, and sign here, basically saying that you have no knowledge and no reports.
I signed that. It's kind of like a disclosure form,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
And also in here you have the seller's disclosure, which if you don't mind filling it out and sending it back to me, I'd certainly appreciate it, and it'll help us position your home, okay?
Okay, now I have a copy that I filled out. Can I send you the copy that I already filled out, or is that a separate?
We'd like to get our own.
Get your own. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
So, Pete, what we're going to do from here is I actually have the lockbox here. I'm going to put it on the front door before I leave. My photographer is going to come back out and take the photos. Then we're going to start pre-marketing the property. We're going to get everything ready, and we're going to roll it out next week. Your property will hit the MLS in about a week or so. Is that fair?
That sounds good.
All right, excellent, Pete. I look forward to helping you sell your home and move down to Boston to be near your next job.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Pete.
Been very nice.
Excellent. You have a great day.
You too.